Apologies. Sorry. I'm being the extreme multitasker at the moment. Let me get those out of the way. Hi, Sally. Hi, Charlotte. All right. So here's for the Lionsgate. Excuse my hair. All these shadows are annoying. That's just how it is in here. I've been, I've been packing all day, and feel to be on here because there's a lot of excitement, I want to say, in the air, in the ethers for us as individuals, for us who are in divine counterparts, for those of us who are here as humans on the planet. And oh yes, sorry. So it's exciting. It's exciting. Let me light some candles. I invite you to get your feet on the ground, to kind of feel into what your experience with the energies has been. There's been a lot of layers of things occurring. I'm on countdown for leaving this house and packing up, and so I've been doing lots of packing today, and I'm on countdown for heading to Bimini. So I've been in a meeting today with some of the people who I'm traveling with. So some of them I met for the first time, some of them are coming from the States, and some of us are going from New Zealand. That feels to be big for me. I don't mean that, personally it will be big, but it feels big as a destination. I'm very guided to be there. Anyway, yes, so I managed to stab myself with the, I guess I did stab myself, but I cut myself quite deeply with the tape dispenser metal. Anyway, so lots happening, lots of layers, lots of bits to talk about. So let me get back to where I need to begin. Where we are now on the 11th, of course. The 11th of August. There's this whole sense of time being super accelerated as well. Right, I've done all of that. Right, I'll start here. So the 888 gateway. Well, let me just review my understanding of, all of that shadow on my face annoys me. But anyway, I don't think I can do anything about it. So on the 1st, this is my understanding that on the 1st of August, we had like a drizzle, if you like, if you're thinking about it. The energy coming in as being like a rain shower. On the 1st, it came in as a very light shower, and then, but it was, that's the analogy. It was these lights, these codes that are coming in, and so they were coming in, giving us a bit of a wash and a bit of preparation, and it built and grew stronger over the first 8 days. I'll just put this onto silent. And on the 8th, there was a downpour. That was a deluge of lights, a deluge of codes. And these were lights and codes that were coming in through likely from the galactic sun, the galactic center, certainly way off our planetary sort of energetic biosphere. So they were brand new. That's what I was told. They'd never come to the planet before, and you can call them divine conscious codes that came to upgrade, reconnect our DNA, and then be in activation with them. So each of us doing that or receiving that as we are ready. And I want to remind you, don't get caught up. Humans, in our human self, we can get caught up with, oh, I don't know if that's happened to me, or, oh God, that happened to me first. That is our personality. That is our ego. Don't get caught in that. This is designed by you, I want to say, in cohort with divine, with source, with your team of light, with your angelic support, with your overriding guardian, with your higher self, as to why and when and how you have come into this higher alignment. And for me, this that word alignment is a key framing in what we are experiencing now. So you'll probably hear me say that quite a lot. But the 888 to me was this quantum shift that we at least had opportunity for, and it felt like we made one as a planet, as humanity. Hi, everyone. Hi. Yes, so hello, Sally and Charlotte and Caroline. Hello for Caroline. And hi, Sarah. Your back needs all the loving soaks and essential oil-infused Epsom salts. Yes, in the physical, the back or the spine is one of the areas that people are being challenged with. And hello, Sally. Yeah, it's super exciting. I've got no idea really what it's going to be like, except that I know it's going to be massive. Hi, Billy. Sunday bliss. That, Sarah, is how I've felt the energies today. I don't think I've been this energized for a while. It's back to an old level of energy. I've been awake since about 4 o'clock this morning. I've done kind of collected about 40 boxes. Some I bought and some I gathered from a couple of places, and come home and I've packed maybe 8 boxes so far and moved some things and had a conversation with people who are coming to take my furniture. And it's all go at my end, but I've really been in this feeling of bliss today. Hi, Stacey Ace. Hi, Jasmine. Hi, Fiona. Oh, wow. Are you in Uluru? Oh, how fantastic. And hello, Jen. Hello, Jen. Yeah, so I've got some things to share, and then I really am curious and want to hear what has been going on in your physicality, what's been going on in your energies. But yeah, for me, it was there's been a whole lot of interesting experiences of what we have been releasing. That's been showing up as collective addressing of various emotional patterns, really. And then we're in this, that release, the purification, and then this transcendence. So, 888, I wrote that in as a quantum shift for humanity. First wave is transcending into mastery. That's how I read it. It doesn't mean that you are a master yet. It's you, because you already are a master on one level. But this is us moving through these energies. We're transcending into the higher, back into our own mastery. The multi-dimensional keys and codes, the divine cosmic blueprint at 5th dimensional level. That is what we are in movement to, or stepping into to some degree, ready for embodiment, ready for integration. That was how it showed up on the 8th. We also are, to me, what the overarching energy of the 888 gateway was the codes of creation coming in, and that's for our new earth. So you can imagine and perceive that there's been a lot. So we've been getting bits and pieces of all of it. Also, we've been coming into our authentic self. So that's very cool. That's like let all the facades, let all the veils, let all the pretense drop away. Just be stepping into your own divine, authentic self, accepting self as is, and learning to be in love with that aspect, with you, the core, the divine, the authentic. Yeah, and the masculine, feminine of self coming into balance, the higher and the lower. And then coming through, I wrote these kind of qualities that we were going to be embodying during this time of the Leo experience of courage, of strength, of power in the heart, of abundance and prosperity, and of manifesting, and all that is held in the lower and affecting the physical body to be released and dissolved. It is a simple thing because I want to say, because, well, firstly, because it is like we are sidestepping back and forth or moving left and right in this exploration of what is true. Is that true of me? Is that my belief? Is that what I understand? Is that what I hold as dear and pure and aligned for myself here on the earth and as a being in a higher form as well? So we're in this kind of inner dialogue. It doesn't have to be noisy chatter. It can be quiet, silent, inner contemplation. But yeah, this coming into the higher and also psychic gifts and qualities. Psychic vision, especially, is prevalent at the moment, and it's quantum. What we are stepping through is quantum. It's bigger, bigger, better, faster, more. And truth, this is the other thing. So you will have heard me speak of this, but this idea that we are in a frequency where we can only be authentic, where we can only speak truth, where we can only be in this clarity, in many, many ways, this is the driver for the change of behavior, for the change in patterning, because everything that isn't of the higher, isn't of the alignment with you in your divine, authentic self at higher fifth dimensional level, this higher consciousness, this stepping into that, anything that isn't of that, it won't hold together. Remember that whole statement about Gaia saying how there would come a time when the molecular structure of a lie wouldn't hold together. Well, that's what we're in. We're in that. Yeah, so in the physical, a lot of energy coming up through the spine, the spinal fluids, and that can be very quick. And that a lot of people are experiencing pain in the spine, and especially in the lower spine. And I want to say heat packs, spa baths, or hot water bottle, lying on a warm surface, all of the massage, oil, all of that will assist. And the throat. So there's a lot of clearing going on in the throat, and that to me is all about our, that's our speaking, our authentic truth. It's our coming into clarity. This is who I am, and this is what I believe, and it doesn't matter to me whether you believe that or not. That's where I sit. That's where I stand. So yeah, a lot of energetic clearing and upgrading through the head, the eyes, the psychic, and the throat. And some people feeling the masculine still feeling expansion through the heart and the higher heart. So a lot of stretching pains perhaps still occurring for the masculine in the higher heart, in the thymus area, and in the lower heart, in the energetic heart across the chest. And in our world, actually, a lot of people are dealing with heart issues that may have come along in relation to this, from vaccinations, or just because of this energy, or just because the soul chose this experience at the moment. A powerful time to set intentions as well and state them as though you already have them. And I want to suggest that you can state them on behalf of humanity as well, that we can be that big picture thinking. So this little bit of rhyming came. 888 Lions Gate. Will you go or will you wait? Ascension codes and frequency light, green and gold and also white. Balance, harmony, peace and joy. Left, right, above, below, girl, boy. Heaven on earth, in rebirth, Now, everyone is assisted to come into alignment with the authentic self. So you could kind of see it as, first wavers are coming into their mastery. Second wavers are really coming into their seeing clearly the truth and perhaps still dealing with a bit of anger around that. And third wavers are just beginning to be in the, I'm not sure if that's right. That doesn't look right. That doesn't feel right. That's a bit strange. So they're noticing and starting to make sense. So I think it's exciting. Because it's like the whole world is beginning to awaken. So time for me has felt both long and expanded, and then also as though chunks of the day drop out. So I feel that what I've done, if I was comparing it to my old 3D world today, it feels like I've done 2 days worth of bits, and yet it feels expanded. I've been sitting in bliss all day, and yet we're racing through the calendar, aren't we? Because it only seems a moment ago that it was the 1st of August, and now we're 10 days in because it's the 11th. Excuse me. Yeah, so it's this expansion that allows us to be in something, perhaps be in the now moment, be in expanded time and space, and then something disappearing. And there's still this notion, if you like, well, it's kind of reality, but it's hard to describe, of our moving. So this movement still of first wavers from the 3rd dimension through the 4th to the 5th. And what many of you will have been doing, how it's been shown to me, is threading back some energetics from the 5th dimension so that others can recognize them, have experiences of them, follow the trail. On that, when I wrote this, which was Thursday, so I think that might have been the 8th, the divine masculines, they how I read where they were at was that they were in energetic inquiry and sitting and longing in the ethers, and they were being sent on the airwaves as this alignment to the higher divine consciousness continues to bring guidance through the heart. So that's the divine masculine. They're having these big heart openings. They are in this shifting back and forth to, well, this is what I'm supposed to do, or this is what I was supposed to do, and now I'm being guided to do this because this feels better. This feels right. That doesn't feel good anymore. It doesn't feel right. It's not in alignment. This is the left and right of the internal dialogue that the divine masculine are having. And maybe you are having that in your internal divine masculine aspect as well, divine feminine. But it's really about this sort of pressure, if you like. You can see it as pressure from your own divine consciousness for you to come into the higher, into the clearer, into more truth, authenticity, and this alignment with your higher divine consciousness and purpose and mission, and that includes your counterpart. I wrote this in here because this is interesting. Rick Dewars says that by the 24th of this month, that's a significant date, and that the sacral release, or the process of releasing from the sacral, so the deep clearing and cleansing from the sacral has been going on. I have noticed it. I'm sure some of you have. I feel that a lot of us have probably already moved through that, but this is the collective. So if you think about the collective, will be at that point by the 24th where they've cleared out and released a lot and attended to the wounding, cleared out from the sacral. and then will be in higher consciousness. They'll be guided to be making choices based on their higher consciousness. And oh yes, so the other thing that he has said is that after that, the divine masculine won't be in any confusion about their choice, that they will after that confusion of choice, they will come into making higher conscious decisions by the 1st of September, and more of the masculine divine counterparts will be available. So the divine masculine have got 20 odd days of moving through this in a very physical way. It will be very quick for them, but this clearing out of the sacral so they can come into higher alignment with all that is important. And we've had a lot of positrons coming through which are affecting the spin. So they are fast and they spin in a positive direction, in a clockwise direction. So that's another impact on the cleanup, on the purification, on the clarity, on the truth. That's the kind of a bit of electron science there, I guess. Yeah, and then on that day for me, I had the word that I came to when I felt into myself was saturated. I was like, there's no more that can fit. I can't fit any more energy in here. Therefore, it must be that the next thing I do is go into integration. So that was my personal experience on the 8th. Oh, yeah. And I had this really interesting dream, and I don't remember the exact date of it, I'm sorry, but in that first week, I think, of August, certainly by the 8th, I'd had it. Yeah, and this was the dream. I was walking down a hallway, which was a hallway or a corridor in a hospital. I was walking in there with a friend, and this hand, this little baby's hand, poked out of my shirt. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then this baby birthed itself. It birthed itself through my umbilical cord. So it like came out through my belly button, the whole umbilical cord that is, tucked away inside the belly button was turned inside out, and I birthed this baby through it. Or really, this baby birthed itself through it into my hands. It was big enough that it sat in 2 of my hands, and I'm like, well, that is so interesting. So that was my it was a daytime vision. It wasn't a dream. It was a daytime vision. Oh, and I read that as that was me rebirthing myself. So I'm curious what kind of experiences you've had over this last week about your own rebirth, because that's what many of us have been doing on some level, in some way. So we're higher, faster, and deeper. We're more multidimensional, and it is allowing us greater access to deeper purification, to more purification, and to accessing these lower aspects of self that we can, the shadow that is coming up for us to deal with and to release, and also from other timelines, other aspects. This sort of merging, if you like, of all of these bits of us now, and we can deal with it quickly. But all of I wrote in here, the other aspects, the other dimensions, the other timelines, other lifetime experiences coming up to be cleared and released. Think stocking in the coffee plunger, releasing all from the body through the physical as well. So you might be feeling little crystals coming out through your skin. That's what a lot of people are having, sort of breakouts in their skin, and a lot of it is showing up like a bit of salt, a little crystal like that. And so we are releasing all from the body through the physical at the same time, So we're doing that big purification, which we've been doing for a while, but it's continuing until we've released it all. And don't get caught up in I'm not finished or I have finished or whatever. The higher we go, the deeper, the older we can access. And then we are reclaiming all of self, all of yourself, your other selves, your older selves, your higher selves, your lower selves. We're reclaiming all of that. We're pulling it in, we're integrating it, we're assimilating it, we're embodying it. We are doing that to bring ourselves into greater balance and unity, harmony, and then into greater integration with all of that. So this is the process that we are amid in embodiment of self to the higher. Then the notes that came through on the 9th seek clarity in your own self-inquiry as nudges and clues will arrive to indicate what or where else do you need to come into alignment. Seek your highest alignment in each aspect. This is what the masculine are doing at the moment. And many of you were probably doing this in this kind of detail a couple of days ago, the divine feminine. So the divine feminine tend to be leading the way in the spiritual arena, and the masculine lead the way in the physical arena, but we've all been sort of quite close really in this little part. So a lot of us going through in a very similar time frame. So asking yourself, where else do I need to come into alignment? What else? Show me. Give me a clue. Show me what else I need to release. Seek your highest alignment in each aspect. And also, yeah, I wrote in here, use the instruction, show me. Show me. Higher self, show me. What is here for me? What else do I need to clear, to see, to understand? So we have many things happening in 3 main areas. We've got this deep purification. We've got this arising of truth and the rising up of the frequency of truth, and that is occurring across the planet, which is why we're now beginning to see that things are being shown in the mainstream media. So news clips and photographs that would indicate that things aren't as they seem, or that they are a facade or a show, or they don't add up. You know, we've seen images where there are lines in the sky that make it look like 3 backdrops. We've seen all sorts of things that it's hard to know. It's hard to know, is that some kind of CGI? Is that Project Bluebeam? Is that a real spaceship? Is that really a star? And I think you just ask the inquiry and don't get caught up in the answer. We will go into overload if we do that. So just be curious. Oh yeah, the impact of New Zealand on awakening is interesting, because you will remember that lots of times I've said that we are the last to be first. So it feels to me, and I'm curious if you're here in New Zealand, it feels to me like New Zealanders are awakening now. There's a lot of little signals and indicators. And there's this beautiful softening that I'm witnessing as well in the heart, and people being more in connection to their feelings, being less rigid, being less righteous. And then there's this coming into balance, this claiming oneself and arising. So we've got, yay, New Zealand, wide awake. Yay, come on home selves. Yeah, that's right. Invite ourselves to be home. 10 days leading up to the Lions Gate. I'm reading it backwards, everyone. Billy was saying she went through a big detox, full flu mode, just starting to feel like herself again. Celine, there's talk she was real at the Olympic Games, AI or CGI. Yeah, so this is all part of it, isn't it? This is part of the, what I call the thackeray and wackery, and it's not easy to determine. And I think we just don't get caught up in it. I think that there are things that were shown strongly through the Olympics and continue to be. So we've seen a lot of kind of woke agenda in people's faces. We've seen a lot of trans stuff going on. We've seen ridiculousness in that arena. That's the other thing that Gaia said, is that we will be showing truth through the ridiculousness. So we've started seeing more of that. And I wrote that a divine conscious warrior arrives. This is a being, likely you reading, likely you here, who has awakened and transformed much of the lower identity of self. This has been our process. Who is transcending the dimensional shift, standing with feet firmly on the ground, firmly planted in strength, in power, and in alignment to one's higher divine consciousness, recognizing that freedom comes with deep inner knowing and truth, and that focus and frequency are key to sovereignty and ascension, and that is where we find our freedom. That alignment to one's higher self and divine plan blueprint at fifth dimensional level is the current pathway. That is our work. And to claim this in each moment. So this is, we're doing all of that, but in each moment, this now moment, this next moment. Yeah, so in here I wrote, recently I have experienced a rebirth. So that's the one I spoke about in the corridor, in the vision at the hospital. So whenever that was, in the first week, on the 8th, I had this feeling of being full and saturated. On the 9th, I went into integration. I knew that I needed to, but I wasn't sure how quickly I would, but definitely that occurred for me on the 9th, into total integration. And then I came into balance. On the 10th, I was teary and overwhelmed. Just as I did on the 29th of July, I just was, in overwhelm and lots of tears. On that day, Gaia showed me she was holding space for us all, for this energy to burst out, overflow, and be released. So the overwhelm was a deliberate energetic that was put through all of us so that we could release. And this is what I wrote here. Gaia is holding space. She had her arms and hands held up and out for this energy to burst into overflow and release as Earth moves into a tipping point for further ascension. So that was on the 10th that was occurring. So think toroidal flow up through the northern axis point of the planet, creating a vacuum, a suction vacuum, to bring everyone into this. And as they are pulled vibrationally upwards into higher frequency and into a higher dimensional field. So the planet was exerting that kind of pressure. You think about like a bicycle pump in reverse, sucking out. It was that kind of effect that was being shown through the center of the planet. We've been coming into a lot more crystalline energies, and beautiful Mother Mary, her energy being around, as it's in a sentence you could say, we are beginning to embrace and embody the mother principles, and certainly the divine holy mothers have showed up in my field, and they hold these higher codes of creation for us as a planet. What Gaia said to me on that day, on a personal level, which always applies to all of us, is you are being rebirthed and reset to the higher. She said, let go of all, let go of as much as you possibly can, which was that's what I'm doing in a very physical way, I tell you. You are being elevated to your rightful and higher place. Remember, you are watched, held, and loved by divine source. Yeah, and so this is the last little bit. So Gaia has said there will be a whole new level for me by the end of the year, and this will, as I just said, no doubt apply to many of you. We are divine, balanced, conscious, worthy. Twins and others have been clearing out behaviors and patterns. So I wrote these here, and it'll be interesting to see whether, because I thought it was individual for half a day, and then I realized no, this is everybody, and I'll explain it. So what Gaia said is we are divine, balanced, conscious, worthy, and twins and others. So especially first wavers and those who are in divine counterpart connections have been clearing out patterns and behaviors on behalf of the collective. And every few days we've been given a new one. So you may have been going through things and thinking, I don't know why I'm feeling like that. So firstly, a few weeks ago, and I can't remember the date, I'm sorry, the day, we were releasing the suicide codes from the earth. And so many of you may have been in and out of having feelings about that, like, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm sick of it. It's enough. And that was what I read around that day. That light workers were releasing the suicide codes. So out through our physical bodies, having an experience of them and then releasing them. And then in this month, we have had depression. So we've been releasing the depression codes, and it's in this order. I think if I've written it correctly, that this was the order it came in. And then so that was a few weeks ago. We had the suicide codes and depression. And then this month we've had rebirth, we've had saturation, and then integration, and then releasing overwhelm. We've been experiencing overwhelm and releasing that. And so let me know if there's anything else that you've been feeling and you've been thinking, well, this is old shadow and this is big, and maybe it's common, because that's what I've been showing. So it's this idea also that, collectively we are releasing this from humanity, all of the energetics, the frequencies, the coding that go with these lower end of the spectrum, with the shadow, with the challenged negative aspects of our being, that we have been releasing them out. And so we've perhaps been feeling things that surprised us, and that was me. I'm like, oh wow, that is so interesting. And yeah, sorry, I've lost thread on the track. I've lost track on the thread. I will come back in here though. But Andrea is just saying she stopped following certain groups, not to reject, but so she can come into herself more, feel confident in her intuition, like a baby that wants to do it by itself. Well done. Very good. Yeah, because this is us. So the big overview takeaway I want to give you is that right now we are dropping into trust. That's the big thing. But this other experience is that we've been releasing these patterns. So the patterns of suicide, the codes and energetics of that, and then of depression. And then this month, we've done some integration and saturation of the new codes coming in. And then we've released this pattern of overwhelm. So there might be still some things to come, but what I am showing is the deep learning for us right now is acceptance. So accept. I am here. I am who I am. I am my authentic self, and I love myself. I just am in such acceptance of who I am. And then this deep trust that all is well, that all is fine, that all is amazing, that all is tracking perfectly, that all is unfolding incredibly. That is what we are being asked to do as light workers, to be in this trust in the collective as a lesson. That's how it shows up. And then, yes, I finished by saying today I felt energized, blissed, blessed, and ecstatic. So let me go to the top of the thread and see what gems you have. Yes, so hello, Charlotte, Sally, Caroline. Charlotte saying your feet grounded in the bath. You being grounded is a biggie because these energies are bigger, higher, faster. And also, part of our role is to integrate them or send them into the earth. Yes, so hello, Sarah, Sally, Billy, and Sunday Bliss, says Sarah. Yes, and hello, Stacey. Hi, Jasmine and Fiona. I think I've already said hello to all of you. But hello again, and hello, Caroline. Thank you. And hello, Jen, and hi, Larissa. And Jen, a lot of letting go. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? My son said to me when I said about what I was going to do, he said, what about all of your furniture? And I said, oh, it's fine. I don't need to hold on to it. And he said, really? You can let all of that go? And he said, what about your Remu coffee table? And I said, yeah, I can let that go as well. Because he knows that that's something that I've had ever since he was a baby. And so I have to tell you that this is a new thing for me. I have not easily let go of things. And yeah, I am. And there's this whole sense of freedom and elevation for me that comes with that. And then exhaustion. Yes, exhaustion. So exhaustion, I want to say that exhaustion is coming for two reasons. One is a part of your personality or ego, and I don't mean that in a condescending way, but our egoic self, our human self, might be in battle with your higher self to hold on to things that need to be adjusted or that are ready to let go, and your human self isn't very ready to let it go, and that's fine. You'll let it go when you're ready. But yes, something a little, maybe last week I was reading in the energy I was reading that may be some people's experience. I didn't write it down though. That exhaustion may come because you're in this battle between your human self and your higher self, your lower aspects and your higher aspects. And then on top of that, all this integration, because it's really fast. And so that idea that our molecular spin is sped up and is, clearing things out and transforming, transmuting, transcending, all of those take a lot of energy. So that can be affecting it as well. Billy went through a big detox. Hi, Rika. And again, hello, Andrea, and hello, Chrissy. And oh yeah, so I haven't. I don't have television, so I watched a little bit of the Olympics at my son's the other day. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think was Celine an early AI model that was at some event, like in some kind of big hall. The Last Supper, disgusting, yes. So, we can see that from a whole lot of levels, can't we? So we can see that as disgusting and intrusion, and we can see that as very disparaging to Christianity, and we can see that as a mockery. And we can also see it as that, I said to somebody, it's the biggest, isn't it? I think it is. It's probably it's the biggest audience. The Olympic Games probably has a bigger audience than any other event. So to me, I can see it as what a perfect event to do that, so that people can be in that, I don't like that. Oh no, I'm not putting up with that. No, I don't condone that. So having a reaction, having a response, coming into, no, we have to do better than that. Let's make some changes here. Let's make some adjustments, some adaptations, and let's be aware that this is going on in other places as well. So to me, I see it from that level. Sally saying she felt guided to pray and meditate to Mother Mary. Beautiful. And yeah, it was disgusting, but I really feel that was well, I'm seeing that as we can take that as being purposeful, and we can take that as it being mockery, or we can take that as did people see that as this is not acceptable. Hello Sandra, hello sweet Cece, aloha. Okay, and then hi mama. All right. 33333. Yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff coming up about the Trinity, isn't there? So part of our integration also is that balancing through the masculine, the feminine, and the what I call the divine holy child, or the golden child. Sarah's saying she's done a huge release of betrayal and hurt from bloodline family connections. Yes, good. Yeah, well done. That's a big one for many. And it's not easy. It's not easy. So confronting and beautifully received at the end of a 30-minute crying, wailing grief. Good. Well done. Lots of love. Big hugs. Cycle, a gift of amazing grace, singing it powerfully, and it felt like a soul song. Beautiful. Amazing Grace is also beautiful in Māori, if you want to look that up. It's it definitely has codes, doesn't it, when we hear it sung in English, and to me it feels even more powerful sung in Māori. Andrea's saying a friend of hers in AA stated that suicide was coming up as a main theme for a year now. Okay, wow. Such great news about it leaving. So happy for people who have suffered this. Yeah, because it's an intrusion. It's an intrusion. We are meant to celebrate this idea that we're here on this incredible planet, having this beautiful life of reclaiming ourselves. And so that is one of the intrusions, that whole suicide thing. So I know a friend of mine who's a psychologist said maybe in 2021 that she was experiencing that technology of sound to skull, and she was hearing a lot of instructions around suicide in that way. Did a workshop, energy alchemy, with friends from the US, Keith Coley and his wife. Amazing for the Lionsgate. Oh, fantastic. Beach, we're feeling very still and silent, not doing, disconnected since Lionsgate. Yes, I think that's a really lovely way to navigate this time. I think that I would be perhaps choosing that if I didn't have all of this other stuff going on. Chrissy and Zed haven't given the Olympics any energy. Good. Yeah, that's right. We don't need to. And hello, Lisette. And Sarah's, oh, thank you. We'll look that up after this update. I'm not sure what that refers to. And Andrew's saying right on, Beachway. So look, here we are. We're leading the way, and we lead the way by being the biggest, highest, most aligned version of ourselves, and then that impacts the rest. But it is exciting, and I thank you for joining me here, and I send you so much love from my heart as we navigate this incredible time. And it's my sense that the divine masculine, so in the ethers, when I read the energy of the divine masculine, I want to tell you that it's my sense that many of them are in this navigation of leaving their old lives, of disconnecting from and disentangling from those, and making real, tangible plans about coming forward. And that November seems to be a very strong month that's coming up for me about those connections coming into play. Oh, Amazing Grace in Māori. Yes, yes. All right. So have a wonderful evening, and I will see you again soon. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Oh, two other things. Actually, I'm useless, honestly. Two other things. Yes, do subscribe to the channel. Do subscribe and do hit the like button for this video. And also, if you haven't and you want to, there is a couple of spaces, or one anyway, one space left on the dolphin trip. If you are keen, you have to get in the next day or so. But I think there's still one place left. And yeah, go gently, be well hydrated as well, and connect into Gaia. Still want to join Divine Goddess Club? Oh, is that with me? Well, you could do that if you wanted. If you wanted to, send me an email, Jen, and yes, okay, send me an email, and we'll tee that up. But the next one is Tuesday night, so yeah, do that so you can join on the third one, and then I can send you the link for the first two. All right, much love, everybody. Thank you so much.